Good evening and welcome. I'm Selena Mee with the Vsb Tv 11 Evening News on this Friday, February the 28th. At the top of tonight's news, a spirit of unity prevailed at Alaska Hall today as Shadow Finance Minister David Pert told a press conference that there is a need for government and the opposition to work together for the good of Bermuda. Flanked by high-ranking PLP officials, the Shadow Minister was commenting on his response to the budget.
I agreed with what the Minister of Finance said, that the status quo is unacceptable. It's unacceptable insofar as the trajectory of government finances, but it's also unacceptable insofar as how our country is able to be used. We derive no benefit from it, yet we receive negative headlines. So I don't think the conversation is specifically what would we like to see. I think where we need to go is that we need to have these conversations, and as a country, both the Progressive Labour Party and the One Bermuda Alliance can work together on a common vision to make sure that we take care of this. Because it can't be that our citizens are the ones that are asked to sacrifice, that our citizens are the ones that get cuts to education, cuts to scholarships, cuts to training. And meanwhile, we have major international companies paying billions of dollars into this country, of which we see nothing of. And as a result of them doing that, we get negative headlines, and it further negatively affects what we do. International investors, international business need to know that when it comes to the issues that are important to our country's economic future, that both parties are on the same page, and that is the only way that we're going to be able to attract growth and investment. No one is going to invest in Bermuda if they think that under the OBA there's a certain policy and that policy will be changed. And Charles, you have to remember that most of the economic policies that come to Parliament are supported by both sides. What is important to realize is that today is the general economic debate. It's the day in the House of Assembly where we're supposed to discuss all economic issues. And that's what I said at the end of my speech, that I think it's important that we raise the level of debate on this and talk about issues that we may not always talk about, and refrain from the reflexive PLP, OBA, PLP, OBA, because we have challenges that we have to face, and we have to change the way we're doing things. And so I was encouraged that after the speech, the Minister of Finance came over to shake my hand, and I have respect for the Minister of Finance. We have differing views, but I have respect for him as an economic thinker and someone who is forthright with the affairs of this country.
And asked if he would be having lunch with the Finance Minister on Monday to shore up the spirit of togetherness, Mr. Burt said he would not go that far. It was a rare spectacle of the Finance Minister crossing the Chamber of Parliament to congratulate the Shadow Minister on his reply to the budget speech. It set a happier tone today in the House of Assembly, but that did not mean that he agreed with what he had heard, as Minister Bob Richards pointed out to Vsb News' Brian Darby.
I thought it was a very good effort on his part. It was comprehensive. I think there's clearly a philosophical difference between OBA and PLP. They still seem to think they can spend money and not run up the debt. They're critical of the concessions to hotel and restaurant and retail sectors, concessions that they put in, and we're continuing. And I believe that we continue them to keep people employed. So I don't have any apologies there. His comments on my remarks on banking and Belco were, to me, that was the amusing part of the speech, because if they had thought this all along, why they didn't say so or act on it, I don't know. You have to ask them. But I have had a view for a long time, and actually somebody like you may remember some of the speeches I made in the Senate about this a long time ago, about how banking institutions have not always acted in the interest of the economy. And so there's nothing new for me. Anybody who knows me knows that I've been talking about this for years.
A 39-year-old Sandys man appeared in Magistrates Court this morning on charges of money laundering. Kenneth Bulford is accused of possessing over $300,000 in cash that directly represents the proceeds of criminal conduct. The offense allegedly occurred between an unknown date and March the 6th of 2013. Mr. Bulford was not required to enter a plea, as the matter is indictable and must be heard in the Supreme Court. The defendant was granted $10,000 in bail and will reappear in court on March the 14th. He was also ordered to reside at his Sandys home and surrender all travel documents. If you wonder what was going on in Somerset this morning, traffic was backed up due to a serious road traffic collision that involved a woman being hit as she attempted to cross the road at around 6:35 a.m. this morning. First responders were dispatched to Mill Road in Southampton near the junction of Industrial Park Road. It appeared that a female passenger had exited a bus that stopped in the area and attempted to cross the street when she was struck by a motorcycle. The victim, who resides in Sandys Parish, was taken to the hospital via ambulance and treated for head and leg injuries. Presently, the extent of her injuries is unknown. No other injuries were reported, and the accident caused traffic to be backed up until around 9 a.m. Inquiries are ongoing, and any witnesses are encouraged to contact PC Lisa Stovall at the Somerset Police Station at the number 234-1010. Considering the PLP's leaders regularly spent in excess of $200,000 a year on travel when in power, the fact that OBA Premier Craig Cananeer took 17 trips in the past 14 months at a cost of $170,000 seems to pale into significance. And today, Mr. Cananeer told Vsb News that the people must be getting tired of his blatant political posturing.
You go back and look at 2012, you'll know that there was an election held. So for the months of October, November, and December, PLP was not traveling. So what I have spent in 14 months of $171,000 is thousands of dollars less than what they spent in about 8 months. So it just makes no sense. More noise, from the PLP, more rhetoric from the PLP without any substance at all. And I think Bermuda should be tired of this here.
I think really the real object is what was the reason for the trips? Are they the junkets or are they working trips that have done Bermuda some good?
Absolutely. The reasoning behind the trips is this. We know that the PLP government did enough to push away international business. We are in the field of international business, and the only way we were going to get that business back is if we get out there and speak to them and get them coming back to the country. Sitting on the island, waiting for them to come here doesn't work anymore. Unfortunately, PLP drove the business out of here. When it came to international business, we're going after it, and we can do it by spending less, which is what we do.
And still ahead is Jay Barker with the weather preview.
Thanks a lot. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar right now. As you can see, big surprise, lots of moisture in the air, lots of rain. Happened all month. It's happening on the weekend. Hate to say it, but I'll have more coming up later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs, only $1.99 per pound. Imported Snow White cauliflower, just $3.99 each, saving you $1. Wise potato chips, all varieties, $1.49 for a 3.75-ounce bag. Buy Yoplait yogurts, just $1.09 for a 6-ounce tub. Ajax regular or with bleach 2-Axe laundry detergent, only $4.99 for a 50-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials. You can count on us.
It's our fantastic February savings event going on now. We have something for every room of your home and incredible savings all month long. Browse around our site to find exactly what you're looking for. New styles, new colors, a new look for your home. We have a huge selection of beautiful furniture and amazing prices that won't last long. So stop in today. You won't want to miss our fantastic February savings event going on now.
The Bermuda Sun's Tips for Seniors is called The Good Life After 55. Read about keeping your heart healthy, questions answered about cancer, and choosing the right pension. The Good Life After 55 is in the Bermuda Sun on Friday.
And welcome back to Vsb TV 11. A tribute was paid in Parliament today to mark the retirement from Defonce Broadcasting of its founder and longtime president, Kenneth Defonce. OBA MP Jean Atherton spoke during the portion of the House agenda reserved for obituary and congratulatory speeches.
Mr. Speaker, I'd so like to have congratulations sent to Mr. Kenneth Defonce on his retirement as the Managing Director of Defonce Broadcasting, who operate VSB channel number 11. I must say that Mr. Defonce and VSB I always believed were quite innovative in what they used to do. I like the idea of having a 7:30 news and then an 8:30 news, because invariably we never got out here in enough time to make 7:30, but I could catch the 8:30 news. Mr. Speaker, I know that also they were innovative in terms of introducing news tips, which enabled people to get them information and keep them on top of the news. I know that MP Glenn Smith would like to be associated with those remarks.
Although $5 million of remedial work has already been completed at Morgan's Point, and a completion date for the $38 million project has been set for March 2016, Works Minister Patricia Gordon-Pamplin gave a frank answer when asked if the would-be developers were happy with the progress.
This is not something that was new. It started under the former government. They started the actual remediation process, and obviously it has been continued with, and there's still much work to be done.
What is proving to be the main headache?
Well, I think that we were required to remediate certainly the parts of the property that are going to be have human occupation. We were required to make sure that that area was remediated to an approved standard for dwellings. There are some areas which do not have to go to quite as high a standard. So I guess the biggest challenge, if there is a challenge there, is just making sure that we continue on a measured basis to meet the timelines, to meet the deadlines. I think the developers are quite anxious to ensure that the part that they will have of the property that's being carved out for them, that part of the property is actually done and remediated appropriately.
You've been up there?
I have been, yes, of course.
With the investors?
Yes.
Are they happy?
I think they are certainly happy with the level of progress and the remediation that has been done. I think there are still some frustrations that they are experiencing, and I don't wish to downplay that. We should be seeing an Amendment Act coming to the House of Assembly within this session, and I think once we get over that hurdle, I believe that tempers will be a lot more even, and we won't have some of the frustrations that they have experienced.
The only transatlantic trade vessel without an engine put into St. George's for the weekend with a cargo of cacao beans, coffee, and rum. The 76-foot Tres Hombre, with 7 crew and 7 trainees on board, is bound for Europe doing cross-Atlantic trading the old-fashioned way, by sail. Captain Lemaire Osinga tells Charles Webb the vessel's company mission statement is from A to B, emission-free.
In Bermuda, we, because of the trade winds, we need to sail back to Europe. The vessel has no engine, so we're only doing it by sail. And because of the trade winds here in the north, we have favorable winds to sail back to Europe.
So you're now you're doing cargo as a regular journey, taking cargo by sail?
Yeah, we do it. This officially is a sail training vessel, but we do also cargo, to show the world that it's possible to use wind as energy to bring goods around, yes.
So how long will it take you to get to Europe?
We do one more stop in the Azores, and there is a conference on sailing cargo. And from there we will sail to England, and it will take about a month.
Forgive me, but this vessel doesn't look very comfortable.
You get used to it. It's a sailing vessel, and it's a really nice job to do. And yeah, it's not for everybody, but the people who like to sail, this is a very nice sailing vessel.
So I guess it's safe to say that the crew have to like each other.
Also, yes, we're living on a small place together, but it works out fine. Yeah. We have a chef on board, and she's cooking very nice. She's preparing very nice food, and with the help of everybody, of course, we have nice food every day. Yes, it's like Back to the Future, so to speak, and it's really working well.
Now here's a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Here's a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. Capital markets reacted to economic data in the U.S. and positive earnings reports in Germany. Escalated tensions in Ukraine boosted flight to safety in bonds. In the U.S., stocks fluctuated, erasing earlier gains after declines in Apple Incorporated dragged down technology stocks. The S&P 500 gained as much as 0.7% midday before closing up 0.28% at 1,859. 58,900 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded hands, while the price stayed unchanged at $1.99. Other Bermuda-related stocks were mostly up. German stocks Bayer AG and Nordic SE gained after reporting earnings helped the DAX gain 0.8% to close at 9,692. The equity benchmark has jumped 4.1% this month. Japanese shares fell as the yen gained for a second day after escalated tensions in Ukraine boosted flight to safety. The Nikkei 225 dropped 0.55% to close at 14,841. Brazil's Vsb extended its fourth straight monthly decline after slower global growth outlook pushed Brazilian exporters lower. The index lost 1.08% to close at 47,094. Treasuries pared losses amid political tension in Ukraine as traders sought refuge in the safety of U.S. treasuries. Two-year Treasury notes were up 2 basis points to 2.66%. The euro rose to the highest level this year against the U.S. dollar as inflation in the currency bloc exceeded analysts' estimates. The euro gained 0.67% against the U.S. dollar as of the last trade. And that was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Imported red ripe strawberries just $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Certified Angus beef, sirloin tip roast, only $6.29 per pound. All varieties of Breyers ice cream just $6.99 for a 48-ounce tub. Bounty Select-A-Size paper towel, only $3.19 for 1 roll. All varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $3.99 for an 8-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
Copyfax is Bermuda's authorized Samsung dealer. See a large range of Samsung color and black and white multifunctional machines, printers, scanners, faxes, and copiers, and all networkable. Copyfax has Samsung machines suitable for home, office, or any size business in an A4 format, taking up less room than other similar equipment. And replacement supplies are in stock for all of their Samsung products. Affordable shopping at Copyfax Limited, where service comes first.
Do you know your rights as a consumer? Visit the Consumer Affairs website to find out how to hire a contractor, how to buy and maintain your vehicle, information on buying second-hand goods, tips for seniors and teens, personal finance tips, product recall information, to file a complaint with Consumer Affairs. For the latest consumer news and much more, visit ca.gov.bm.
And welcome back. If you're looking for some fun entertainment, Dale Butler has been putting together fabulous shows for many years. But this year may be his last hurrah in entertainment. To dazzle his audience, Mr. Butler has planned a night of laughter by way of a comedy show entitled Dinner Comedy with Calypso, a night of entertainment. The show will take place tomorrow night at Cafe Lido, and Mr. Butler told Vsb News what the audience can expect.
People can expect 4 seniors in our community who have been telling jokes to their family and friends for years. They're now known as the Onion Pack, led by John Dale, Denny Richardson, Stuart Hollis, and Charles Jeffers. They form the Onion Pack. They will be at Cafe Lido at 9. The admission is very cheap, just $20 to cover basic expenses. But we've also added Queen's Certificate awardee Stan Lord Necktie Seymour, who will be performing. And then right after that, we will also have the AFB Cultural Salsa International Dancers. So it's like 3 acts in one. There are tourists on the island. They are looking for entertainment, and we have locals who constantly say, where is there something live? And so I'm very pleased to have developed this particular event. We're all a little depressed, the worldwide situation, Bermuda's economy, sometimes it's family stress, etc. And everybody enjoys a good joke. These are clean jokes. Some of the comedy that goes on worldwide now concerns me. They use the N-word, they use the F-word. We don't have any of that. And at the same time, you have really, really good humor that can really make you laugh. These gentlemen in the community are some of our outstanding role models. And so they don't go down that particular road, but they do know how to make you laugh, and they will have the audience in stitches.
Dinner and the show is available at 6:30, at which point admission is free, but a donation of $50 will be appreciated. The other option for attending is to arrive at 9 p.m. at Cafe Lido, at which time the show will kick off and a donation of $20 will be collected at the door. When we return, we'll have the sports report. And welcome back. In sports tonight, the Bermuda Lawn Tennis Association has planned a spectacular event for this Monday, March the 3rd, World Tennis Day. We'll hear more from the BLTA's Vice President, David Lambert.
That's correct. Monday, March the 3rd, is World Tennis Day, and all member nations of the International Tennis Federations will be holding an event to acknowledge the sport. What the Bermuda Lawn Tennis Association is doing here at the W.E.L. Joel Stadium is having rare ball mini court tennis. It's play and stay. That's a lot of fun. We'll also be acknowledging all of our national players, the juniors, the Davis Cup, Fed Cup, members of the winning Small Island Games teams will be here. And so it's going to be a fun day. We also have a part of the afternoon which is very popular, hit and keep. Whatever you hit, when we put different targets or different gifts on the court. So that's a very popular part, especially for the juniors. Everyone wants balls and hats and visors and things like that. But the most important thing is that it's our way, it's Bermuda's way of acknowledging the sport of tennis, which has helped quite a few of our young Bermudians acquire college scholarships and go overseas to represent the island.
Calling all young cricketers, several of the island's budding young cricketers will take part in the Pee Wee Cricket Series tomorrow afternoon at Barclay Gymnasium. The free course runs every Saturday in May and is sponsored by Tokyo Millennium. The Cricket Board's Chief Executive Officer Neil Spite and Victoria Cunningham of Tokyo Millennium spoke to VSB Sports about the event.
We're very excited the Pee Wee cricketers are on again next month. I guess the calendar has worked out fantastic for us. It's on a Saturday afternoon and there are 5 Saturdays in March, so the children get a chance. This is for between 4 and 7 years old to come experience cricket, have fun. It's a great program and it's free. That's everybody's favourite word, and that's thanks to my good friends at Tokyo Millennium here. They've been fantastic supporters of youth cricket. They've done our under-8 league for 3 years, and I think it's probably the 3rd year now we're going to have the Pee Wee cricket. Obviously that's a transition program. They have a lot of fun. It's always really well subscribed, and I think it's very important to note there's Tokyo, there's been some talk about them moving their head office or re-domicile into Zurich, and that what people need to understand is they are here, they're an integral part of the community, and they're a fantastic presence, and we're looking forward to kicking off Saturday afternoon.
Victoria from Tokyo Millennium, good to see your involvement with our youngsters.
No, Tokyo Millennium is committed to charitable organisations and supporting them on the island, whether it be youth, education or sport. Obviously our relationship with the Cricket Board obviously kind of goes with our company culture of bettering the lives of the youth in Bermuda. So we're pleased to be on board again and look forward to many years to come.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen, hat and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker, bigger, jagged borders needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen, hat and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Well, how rainy was it this month? Well, I don't know exactly, but I do know that SpongeBob moved in next door. I'm Shay Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today. Well, it was gray and overcast and cloudy and rainy and just a generally kind of day, but Julius Sykes took his great picture in Hamilton Harbor, one of those massive ships coming in. They really are exceptional to see. It's quite a sight, and thanks to Julian for sending this shot in today. Our highs and lows, our high temperature only 68 degrees at 5 a.m. this morning. Low temperature 64 at 1 p.m. and it did feel pretty chilly all day. Currently, we're looking at 62 degrees, humidity is 85%, winds out of the northeast at 12 to 18 knots, and the barometric pressure is dropping at 30.06 inches. Rainfall index, well, so far for the month, we've seen 7.54 inches, so yes, a ton of rain. I actually believe, and this is science, that the land is now wetter than the water. That's probably not right. The total for the year so far, 13.77 inches. Normally, though, we'd have seen 10.31 inches. Let's take a look at our satellite map. Well, this low-pressure system to our southwest is sending a warm front into the area and increasing winds and rain this evening. Now, winds increase to strong by Saturday as this low passes by to our southeast with rain and heavier showers. Rain will decrease by Sunday morning, and winds will decrease in the afternoon as high pressure then builds in from the west. In the gateway cities, Atlanta, it'll be partly cloudy and 59, 33 and mostly cloudy in Boston, Charlotte 55 and mostly cloudy, 46 and partly cloudy in London, Miami mostly sunny and 81, mostly cloudy and 34 in New York, Orlando it's mostly sunny and 78, 37 and mostly cloudy in Philadelphia, Toronto we got light snow and 30 degrees, and 43 and mostly cloudy in Washington. For tonight, we're looking at a low of around 60 degrees. It will be chilly. There's a little bit of wind coming up. Winds out of the east-northeast of 15 to 20 knots, and that will increase to 18 to 24 knots later on. For tomorrow, not a great Saturday, to be honest. High of only around 65 degrees. And look at that. Rain. Big surprise. Winds out of the east-northeast, gusty all the way up to 20 to 30 knots. You'll see gusts in shower. And out of the northeast, they'll come later on, 20 to 25 knots. And over the northeast, late at night. For Mariners tonight, there is a small craft warning in effect. Seas inside the reef, 2 to 3 feet. Seas outside the reef, 5 to 8 feet. And the sea temperature is way up from the land temperature, 70 degrees. For Mariners tomorrow, still a small craft warning in effect. 2 to 3 feet inside the reef, 6 to 10 feet outside the reef. High tide at 8:12 a.m. Low tide, 2:38 p.m. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Saturday, overcast, rain and showers, decreasing late at night, high of around 65. Sunday, mix of sun and clouds, 1 or 2 early morning showers, high of 67. Monday, mostly sunny, high of 69. Tuesday, sunny periods with showers developing by evening, high of around 72. And Wednesday, sunny periods and windy, high of only around 69. Well, our photo winner of the week this week is Lola for this great shot taken down in St. George's over Whale Bay. This was at sunset. It was a lovely day that day. It was one of the last few good days we saw this week. Thanks to Lola for sending this shot in. She's a winner of dinner for 2. So make sure you send in your shots next week and you could be our lucky winner. Thanks to the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help, and a special shout out to Alexander's of London and English Sports Shop who keep me looking sharp. Like them on Facebook right now. You get some pretty special deals. The rest of you, enjoy your week. I'll see you again real soon.
The defunct broadcasting stations have more diverse programming than any other broadcasting company in Bermuda.
This is London.
11:60 a.m. The BBC World Service. All day, every day, all night, every night. 11:60 a.m. One of the stations of the defunct broadcasting company.
And we thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us at Vsb TV 11. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night, Bermuda.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.